Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to answer the question whether you should buy the Somnium VR1, especially now the price has now gone up. That's right folks, the price has now gone up, and at the time of recording I don't actually know how much it's going to go up, but Artua has just let me know that that's going to be the case simply because of the added time and cost, as well as the quality control process, which is probably more crazy and more obsessive than any other VR manufacturer out there. Their quality control is so strict, they're throwing out so many displays. So now I think is a good time to have a bit of a recap on what is the Somnium VR1, why is it so expensive, and is it for you? Now, without stating the bleeding obvious, I don't know your financial situation. I don't know if you can afford one or not. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. There's no point getting mad at me about it though. Do you know what I mean? So keep it nice in the comments. This is going to be quite a difficult video to make, and it's going to be a bit controversial in some ways because anything that's expensive seems to bring about a lot of emotions in people. I wish, more than anybody, that this headset could be £1,000. I would love that. Nothing would make me happier, but it's just not possible. It's just not possible, and I'm going to explain why that's the case in this video. So of course, if you don't know much about the Somnium VR1, it is a super high-end VR headset that is completely modular, open sourced in nature. You can get into all the sensors, you can customize it both with the software but also with the actual headset itself. You can customize 3D parts for it. It has industry leading resolution of 2880 by 2880 QLED technology at 35 ppd, very similar to the Crystal, which I will mention and talk about in a moment because it is sharper than the Crystal. It also has an amazing field of view, especially horizontal. It's capable, that's not what I see, but it's capable of around 130 degrees or more. Imagine what that's like with this sharpness. It's just sensational. You've got dual 12 megapixel mixed reality pass-through, which is very, very nice. The software enables you to mask your own cockpits using the hand tracking. I haven't tried that yet, but that is coming, as well as many other features. It's an absolute hammer blow when it comes to high-end PC VR, okay? And that will come at a cost. Of course, this channel is about flight simulation, but really this is probably one of the most flexible headsets on the market to date because you can completely customize it to whatever application you're using. Unlike, say, a Meta headset, which when you're buying that VR headset, and please understand that as much as I love the Quest 3, it's really made people very jaded about the price of VR headsets. You cannot compare the price of a Quest 3 to any other VR headset out there because Meta can subsidize their headsets because they are also buying your data. That's really important to understand. And they can seemingly afford to lose loads of money, but you're getting it cheaper because of their way of their business model, put it that way. Now, I'm not going to go into that any further than that because that could be a separate video all on its own. And of course, the Meta Quest 3 isn't a PC VR headset anyway. Well, it is, but it's not a native PC VR headset. So for flight simulation, while it works really well, it's not ideal. And it's a bit of a false economy. If you bought a very expensive GPU, it's actually being held back by the fact that it's having to work harder to produce inferior visuals. Really, the visuals aren't going to be as good as, say, a native PC VR headset such as the Crystal. So if I compare it to, say, the Crystal Light, that's more of an interesting comparison because that headset does technically have the same display resolution as this. It has a 2880 by 2880 QLED display at 35 ppd, and they do, in some ways, look quite similar. However, the thing is about the Crystal Light, it's a brilliant headset, I think, and it makes the most sense to upgrade to that headset from, say, the Riva G2. it is a very good headset. The trouble is, Pimax's quality control, well, it is getting better now, but it's still not quite there. And you may find that you get a headset with dodgy lenses or some other issues. Because I think they are working at the maximum point they possibly can to bring this headset to you at that price. Because those displays, guys, are not cheap at all. And the displays in this are, I mean, the quality control process, Somnium Space are throwing out so many QLED displays that have maybe slight imperfections with Mura and maybe dead pixels here and there, because they want to produce the very best quality that they can for their headset. So you've got to understand that that kind of yield rate, the percentage that they're throwing out, is a big deal, and it's going to cost them. What that means though is that when hopefully you get your headset, it's going to be at a much higher quality than you can get from pretty much any VR headset manufacturer. So hopefully, as I say, that means you're going to get a headset that has an absolute grade A display. Couple that with the fact that the aspheric lenses on the VR1 are superb. They are right up there. Well, they are the best aspheric lenses, you know, period. They're better than even the Vario XR4 for the sweet spot. There is a slight bit of warping, but then I am using an older software version, so that might even be fixed, but it's ever so slight. And to be honest, most aspheric lenses have a slight amount of it, but it's something that you will get used to. I can assure you, over time, you will get used to it. But I think that's the only major trade-off of aspheric lenses. Everything else is just better. You don't get any glare, or very minimal glare. You get a little bit, but it's ever so slight, and nothing like, say, even a Quest 3, and I don't even find that a problem. And worlds apart from, say, Fresnel headsets and even the Big Screen Beyond. I mean, that has a lot of glare. This is just not an issue at all. You get a fantastic field of view of around... Thank you. That's not... Is that for me? Yes, that is for me. Sorry, guys. Let me just contact ATC. You get, you know, a good 120 degrees or more than that, depending on how you like the headset. If you want it really close to your eyes, you can get probably 125 degrees horizontal. And, you know, just overall, it is such a crisp and clean image. It's the sharpest display of the 35 ppd crowd. So with that in mind, together with all of the software package you get, which the software, bar a couple of features, which is a shame, like motion projection, I think that's still something that could be improved. But you are getting the highest level of VR headset on the market, and you're having to pay for it, guys. You do have to pay for the fact that Somnium Space, they're not going to sell truckloads of these. They're not going to sell... that's not the right term, is it? Truckloads. Bucket loads. Is that the right term? Oh, I don't know. But you know what I mean. They're not going to sell loads of headsets like the Quest. Probably not even nowhere near as much as the Pimax Crystal Light, because this is a professional, bespoke headset that, well, Arthur himself is actually checking himself. He's checking each one and getting that seal of approval on each headset. It's a completely different way of thinking about a VR headset, and it shows. When you put it on, you feel the quality, you look through the lenses, you look through that display, and you see that quality, and it's very, very, very good. It's the best. It's the only way I can describe it. At this point in time, it is the best VR display on the market for 35 ppd. The reason why I keep saying 35 ppd, because the XR4 does beat this for clarity if you can use the full 55 ppd panel with dynamic foveated rendering applications such as DCS World. But for most of us out there, and for the price, because really, even if you compare this to a 55 ppd panel, the difference isn't like night and day, because at this point you are at diminishing returns. you're not going to get the same difference between, say, a CV1 and a Reverb G2 or a Reverb G2 to a 35 ppd panel. As resolutions get higher and higher, you're going to get diminishing returns. You're going to have to spend more money to get that extra bit of clarity. A bit like a sports car when you put, you know, like particular tyres on the car to get that lap time closer. You shave that 5 seconds off, you're going to have to spend a lot more money to do that. When you reach that super high-end level that this is, you're going to have to pay for more to get that extra bit. So if that matters to you and you want to be on the cutting edge of VR technology, you want that incredible crisp image. God, ATC is doing my head in today, it's very busy. Sorry about this, guys. Then it is the Somnium VR1, it is. But I still feel, for most of you out there, I think either the Quest 3 is probably going to be enough for you if you just dabble in VR. But if flight simming is your hobby, then perhaps look at the Pimax Crystal Light. I still feel that makes the most sense for most of you out there. And it is an immense display, and I still can't believe it. Every time I put that headset on, I can't believe that level of clarity is available at such a cheap price. It is so good. It is really, really good. Providing you get a good one. And it's funny because I get emails and comments from people saying that, oh my god, the Crystal Light is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for showing it on the channel. I'm so happy with it. I get more comments like that, but I do get a percentage of people that say I've got the Crystal Light and I've got really bad warping in the right lens, or I've got an issue, I don't have a sweet spot in the lens, or there's some issue with the display, or get dead pixels or whatever. There are those comments out there as well. So it's whether you want to invest in a headset that's probably going to last you for between 3 and 5 years. Because I'm hoping at some point we're going to get a shift in the industry and we're going to get micro OLED VR headsets with huge field of view. You know, that's going to be the next big thing. But I don't think that's going to be available, not yet anyway. Now in terms of which Somnium VR1 to buy, well, to really get the most out of this headset, to really understand why it is my daily driver, why I rave about it so much, really you kind of need to get the Ultimate Edition so you can really enjoy the mixed reality pass-through, the, you know, masking of the cockpit, which is just fantastic. It's a great in-house feature. You can really enjoy that pass-through. I'm using it right now. I can see there the camera, then I can get back and then look at my virtual desktop, which the virtual desktop will be available on all VR1s. But it's about really enjoying that mixed reality capability, hand tracking, which could be something that is implemented in other applications. If you want the full fat version, the full bad boy edition as I like to call it, then it is the Ultimate Edition. But really, ideally, I think if you're looking at sort of saving some money, get the Somnium VR1 with the eye tracking, because then at least you are future-proofing yourself if we get dynamic foveated rendering and MSFS, because that will make a big difference to performance. Not only that, I think the headset will also be a bit more comfortable. It'll be lighter because you won't have all those other sensors. You might need to get a different head strap. For me, well, I've done videos on this already, so hopefully you've seen them. If not, I'll try and remember to link them in the description below. But I've done a 3-hour session with this now, with this M2 Bobo VR head strap. And that to me has solved my comfort problems. I can wear this no problems at all now. I've already been in this headset for 2.5 hours. And I've got another hour to go yet, and I feel fine. You know, I have to sort of move it around a bit every now and then, but I do feel fine. With the stock strap though, I don't. I can only manage about, well, 45 minutes to an hour, then I've had enough. So please factor in that you might need to get a new head strap. That's one thing that does niggle me with the VR1 when compared to the Vario XR4. I think the XR4 is so much more comfortable, and it comes with a brilliant head strap out of the box. It's kind of like it's it's a bad thing but also a good thing, because it does mean, because of the modular design of the VR1, that you can actually just slip this Bobo M2 head strap onto it without any modifications. So at least you can do that. With the XR4, if you happen to not like that head strap on it, then you're stuck with it. You can't do anything about it. But with this, you can. So there's fors and against for both, really. So I hope I don't know if that's helped you out or not, really. And I appreciate, in the world we live in these days, where everything is really expensive, something like the Somnium VR1, well, it's really only there for those who want the very best VR headset out there. And you don't want, you know, no compromises. Although there is a compromise, it's a big headset, really. It's not the most comfortable headset in the world, but apart from that, in terms of the no compromise visual fidelity and the quality control process that it goes through, it is just absolutely right up there as the best at the moment. Thank you so much for watching, I do appreciate it. And for those who are going to moan in the comments, I do showcase lots of different VR headsets out there, including the Quest 3. So, you know, you have to understand this channel is about the high end and also the mid-range. But, you know, if you're going to moan in the comments, you probably haven't watched this far anyway. But take care, see you again very soon, and bye for now.